32 people died on the Costa Concordia. Investigators ran that night again, second by second. They reached a conclusion almost nobody quotes. Not one of them had to. This is not a story about a badly built ship. She left port that evening meeting every SOLAS requirement that applied to her. It's a story about the 69 minutes after her hull opened. And the 5 people on the bridge who could have ended them with one order. The world blamed one man. The report blames the room. Costa Concordia. 247 meters. 114,000 gross tons. That night she carried 4,229 people. This is the official safety investigation. By law it assigns no blame. It does not even name the master. It asks a colder question: what had to change for everyone to live? 1918. She sails from Civitavecchia for Savona, a route she runs every week. The passage plan for this leg had been approved. Then, shortly before departure, it was changed. Not by the company. Not by the navigator. The new track ran her past Giglio at half a nautical mile off the coast. At night. At 16 knots. And the chart on the table was the wrong one. Chart 6, scale 1 to 100,000. At that scale, the rocks off Giglio are a detail you could cover with a pencil tip. The chart that shows them by name, with soundings, is chart 119. 1 to 20,000. The ship did not carry it. She was never meant to be here. This was not the first time. The previous August she had passed close to Giglio in daylight, so passengers could film it. That one worked. 21:34. The master comes to the bridge and calls for hand steering. 5 minutes later he takes the watch. There is no meaningful handover. No position, no intended track, no hazards. From here the ship is being conned by a man nobody has briefed on his own passage. His orders go out as compass headings, not rudder angles. 325. 350. It sounds precise. It hands the helmsman a destination instead of an instruction. 21:40. The master orders 325. The helmsman reads back 315. The first officer steps in to correct him and says 335. 3 men, 1 bridge, 3 different numbers. Count the people on that bridge. 3 officers. A cadet. A helmsman. And 2 with no business being there, the hotel director, and a guest. There is also a phone call. The report's own words: overall passive attitude of the bridge staff. Nobody seemed to have urged the master to accelerate the turn, or to give warning on the looming danger. 5 people watched the shoreline come closer. Not one said it out loud. Between 21:40 and 44 the turn is soft and late. She slides more than 800 meters off her own plotted track. Towards the island. 21:44 and 11. Starboard 10. Hard to starboard. Port. Hard to port. 54 seconds of contradicting orders. And somewhere in the middle of them, the helmsman turns the wheel the wrong way. 21:45 and 7 seconds of the 13th of January 2012. The hull of the ship, left side, crash into the rock further east of the island's Scole. A 53-meter gash along the port side, aft. She was built to survive 2 flooded compartments. The rock opened 5. From that second the ship was going to be lost. The only question left was how many people would still be aboard. 50 seconds later, blackout. The emergency generator runs for 41 seconds, then falters. The rudder jams to starboard. Every generator and switchboard sat inside the flooded compartments. Below, engineers stood in rising water, forcing the emergency switchboard closed with a screwdriver and rags. It is the one part of this night nobody has to defend. By 21:51 the crew below know exactly how bad it is. Water is where water cannot be. 21:54. The public address system tells 4,000 people the situation is under control. 3 watertight compartments are already flooded. That announcement is why many of them went back to their cabins. Just after 2200, the master is told 5, 6, and 7. Adjacent. Flooded. He does not call search and rescue. 6 minutes later Livorno finds out. Because a passenger telephoned her mother on shore, and her mother called the police. The alarm for the Costa Concordia came from the beach. A minute later, the ship tells the port authority she has had a blackout, and it is under control. 22:25. 40 minutes in, the master finally reports the gash, a growing list, casualties aboard, and asks Livorno for one tug. 22:33. The general emergency alarm. 48 minutes after the rock. 22:54 and 10. The order to abandon ship, given over the public address in English, and not by the master. 69 minutes. She is already listing too far for half the lifeboats to reach the water. The investigators did the arithmetic the rest of us skipped. Had the alarm gone at around 2203, when the master already knew 3 compartments were gone, and while the ship was still nearly upright, the boats could have been launched normally, and every person aboard could have been taken off. 32 deaths. All of them inside the delay. What happened next was decided long before that night. 38 nationalities in the crew, working in Italian, evacuating passengers in English. 18 of 52 lifeboat stations were manned by crew without the certificate to operate them. 23:11, past 30 degrees. By midnight, 40, and still going. At the worst of it she lay at 80. At 34 minutes past midnight, the master reports that he is in a lifeboat. An hour earlier there were still about 300 people on the ship. By 17 minutes past 6, 4,194 people had been brought off. 32 had not. The last of them was found in March. The rules changed because of this. Muster drills before departure, not within 24 hours of it. That line was written by these 69 minutes. And the safeguard SOLAS already asked of new ships. Flood detection, stability computers, safe return to port. The report pushed to carry further. One finding never made a headline. Not one member of that bridge team had ever been trained in bridge resource management. The discipline built to make a junior officer able to say, "Captain, we are too close." The plan was changed and nobody objected. The chart was wrong and nobody checked. She was 800 meters off track and nobody spoke. That is not one man's failure. That is a room's.